ready to dig into history because this Saturday, that's exactly what you can do for Michigan Archaeology Day. And here to help us kind of first dig into the details is Stacy, the Director of Archaeology from the Michigan History Center. How excited are you?
This is my favorite day of the year, Nicole.
This is your Super Bowl?
This is my Super Bowl. I love it.
Yes. So let's walk us through what first, though, before we dive into the actual event, for those that, because I feel like this word is kind of thrown out a lot, what exactly is archaeology?
Archaeology is the scientific study of the human past across time and space.
Okay.
All of our ancestors, our shared history, and what's great about it is if we do it a lot and do it really well, we can learn a bunch of things about how we got here today, about who we are today, and maybe that information helps us make good choices together about our futures.
Absolutely. It's a good start and a good conversation to have about this is what happened in the past, and here we can kind of go moving forward. And, you know, speaking of the future, the community can be a part of Archaeology Day. Very much so. Very much so. And they're able to explore it this weekend. There's a little bit of everything kind of going on with this day that's happening on Saturday. Kind of talk a little bit about what we can expect before we dive into the hands-on activities.
I'm happy to. So this Saturday, October 5th, is annual Michigan Archaeology Day. This is a once-a-year flash mob, a 6-hour flash mob that takes over the Michigan History Center and the Michigan History Museum, and it brings together most of the archaeologists who have done research or are doing research in Michigan. So it's like a reunion for the professionals, but it's a day for the public to ask questions, to have hands-on activities, to bring in artifacts to show our experts. If you have found something and you don't know what it is, a lot of us have those things laying around our house, especially farm families find a lot. Bring that in, show our experts. This is a day to learn. If you like Michigan history, you will love Michigan Archaeology Day.
All right, you have me on if you love Michigan. So in Michigan history, I'm all there. But you were lucky enough to bring some of the hands-on demonstrations that we can explore. So what are you holding right here?
Well, I'm going to bring, I brought my favorite, one of my favorite tools in Michigan history, and this is an atlatl.
An atlatl.
It is spelled ATL, atlatl. This tool has been used for millennia around the world. It's been used for thousands of years in Michigan forests to hunt food. And it's basically like a giant arrow, a spear. You've got your flight, and then you've got a point at the end. And these big spears would have been thrown. This is a spear that would have been thrown with the atlatl. Sorry, this is the spear. This is the atlatl.
Okay.
So the atlatl is it elongates your arm and it creates a lever. So you can really whip a spear farther and harder than you could with your natural arm.
Okay.
So you just seat it in there and you connect it. And then when you throw it, it propels the spear through the air. So when you wonder how people did early hunting around 10,000 years ago, 9,000 years ago, they weren't using the bow and arrow.
Yeah, I can hold on to
for
this.
example.
Yeah.
The bow and arrow, which is, here's a nice replica.
Yeah.
The bow and arrow has a smaller stone point at the end, smaller shaft and flights, but this technology did not come into use in Michigan until 1,400 years ago. That has been used far longer than that.
Wow.
Most people who find things like this when they're walking around, if you've ever found an arrowhead or what you think might be an arrowhead, usually it's not. Usually it's a point, a projectile point, that would have been used on the tip of a spear thrown by an atlatl.
Oh my goodness!
Which are much earlier, so our hunting technology changes so much.
Yeah.
So you have the opportunity at Archaeology Day to whip spears at a foam deer target using an atlatl, just like the way that they did for millennia in Michigan forests.
Okay.
And you know, this is the time. If you fancy yourself quite a Michigan hunter, we'll bring it.
Yeah, bring it.
This is your
Saturday.
chance. You know?
Perfect. And real quickly, I did want to kind of showcase. I know we're looking at some of the pictures of what you can do on this Saturday, but you have this special artifact. Explain real quick what this is.
I do.
Yeah.
So this is, you know, archaeology is happening in Michigan all the time. Universities, government agencies, tribes, people are doing archaeology all the time. We do a lot of archaeology when we plan for projects in our state parks. And this is a 3,000 to 5,000 year old projectile point. It's not an arrowhead because it's older than that. This is a point that very well could have been thrown,
My
you know,
goodness, it gives
using
me
an
chills.
atlatl. And this was found in Emmett County, and you will be able to see artifacts just like this at Archaeology Day. And do you want to hold?
I do
You
wanna
would be
hold-
one of the first, maybe 10 people to hold this in
Oh my
at least
gosh.
3,000 years.
This
So,
is amazing.
it-
Oh my goodness. Just you feel that history right there. And just you can also hear the history and the passion in your voice when you talk about all of this. So thank you so much for sharing. And of course, remember, you can be a part of all of this on Saturday, October 5th. You can see that information right on your screen. But Stacy, thank you so much. And so as we kind of look ahead to